Hello, I'm Mark Blunden and this is the Standard's Tech and Science Daily. Coming up, new species of pterosaur on the Isle of Skye. But first, a new super collider costing £17 billion and part funded by the UK is being planned by scientists at Cern as the successor to the world's largest particle accelerator. The team hopes that the under development future circular collider will help uncover the secrets of 95% of the universe and, if approved, would be 3 times bigger than existing technology. The current Large Hadron Collider has lived in a 17-mile underground tunnel near Geneva, Switzerland since 2008, famously discovering the so-called God particle, which helped researchers examine the source of mass in matter. But now it's hoped the new Collider project will push forward investigations into the forces of dark matter and dark energy, allowing scientists to understand more about the function of the universe. Next, King Charles has become one of hundreds of thousands of Britons diagnosed with cancer every year. The 75-year-old monarch's been diagnosed with an unspecified form of cancer, with Buckingham Palace saying during his recent procedure for a benign prostate enlargement, a separate issue of concern that's so far been unnamed was discovered. Figures from Cancer Research UK show over 29,000 cases of cancer are diagnosed among British men aged 75 to 79 each year. Buckingham Palace has confirmed that Charles started a schedule of regular treatments. Now, scientists have discovered a new species of pterosaur on the Isle of Skye in Scotland. It's been named Cyoptera evensi and is a winged reptile believed to have lived between 168 and 166 million years ago during the Middle Jurassic period. Paleontologists, led by the University of Bristol, have spent 17 years preparing and scanning the specimen after finding the fossilised remains during a 2006 field trip, some of which was completely embedded into the rock, while the skeleton's incomplete with only parts of the shoulders, wings, legs and backbone remaining. Researchers say it provides key insights into the evolutionary history and diversity of pterosaurs. Next, the UK is among 35 countries to sign a new international agreement to take action against hackers for hire and online markets selling tools for cyber attacks. Deputy Prime Minister Oliver Dowden will lead a 2-day conference alongside France that will see countries and businesses discuss how to tackle the threat posed to international security. According to the UK's National Cyber-Security Centre, the commercial cyber intrusion sector is doubling in size every 10 years as criminals force access to people's devices, listen to calls, obtain photos and remotely operate cameras and microphones. The NCSC warns so-called hackers for hire are being used to carry out corporate espionage and that tools are being accessed by hostile states who threaten British national security. Now, there's no sat-nav or anything laser-guided, for this is some high-tech aviation from 8 decades ago, and a 102-year-old RAF pilot is back in the cockpit of a Spitfire. Jack Hemmings, a former RAF squadron leader, is believed to be the oldest pilot to fly the Second World War aircraft, and it was in a bid to raise money for a charity that he co-founded nearly 80 years ago.
Offered a flight, I seized it with both hands. I just enjoyed the feeling of the controls of this famous airplane.
That's Hemmings, who was awarded the Air Force Cross for exemplary gallantry in India, speaking before he took to the skies over Biggin Hill Airfield. And afterwards,
absolutely delightful. Very bumpy, very bumpy. To be honest, it felt a bit rusty.
Hemmings showed he's still got it. The Second World War ace took control from Biggin Hill's Deputy Chief Pilot Barry Hughes and made some manoeuvres as part of a fundraising effort for Mission Aviation Fellowship, an air cargo relief charity that Hemmings co-founded just after the war. Let's go to the ads. Stay there for more news from the world of tech and science. Plus, AI deciphers charred Herculaneum scroll after nearly 1,000 years. Why not hit follow in the meantime and give us a rating? Welcome back. The Dutch owner of search giant Yandex has announced it will pull out of Russia, but the tech side of the business and its know-how will stay in the country. Its Russian operation has been sold for a reported £4 billion, which is considerably lower than its estimated market value. The sale to a consortium of investors means Yandex's Russian business is now a fully Russian-owned entity in a move that's been backed by Moscow. The firm has previously been accused of hiding information about the war in Ukraine from the Russian public. And finally, students have used artificial intelligence to decipher the charred papyrus Herculaneum scroll that was buried by the Mount Vesuvius eruption in 79 AD. The winning team deployed algorithms to read more than 2,000 never-seen-before texts that discussed sources of pleasure such as music, the taste of capers, and the colour purple. The three students from Egypt, Switzerland, and the US share a $700,000 grand prize for uncovering hundreds of thousands of words across more than 15 columns of text, corresponding to around 5% of an entire scroll. The AI program was trained to read the ink on both the surface and hidden layers of the unopened scrolls, which would be destroyed if unfurled by human hands. You're up to date. Come back at 4 p.m. for the latest news, interviews and analysis from the Standard podcast here in London, and we'll be back on Wednesday at 1 p.m. See you then.